Let's start with a feeling we've all had. You're lying in bed, the house is quiet, and for some reason, your mind wanders to your bank account. You do a quick mental calculation of what's in there, what's coming out for rent or the mortgage, and what's left for the future. And then, that pit in your stomach forms. You wonder, am I behind? You see people on social media buying homes at 24, or you hear about a neighbor who's retiring at 55, and you can't help but feel like you missed a memo, like there's a secret ledger of where you should be that everyone else has, but you're just guessing. If you feel that way, I want you to take a deep breath. You are not alone. In fact, most people are feeling exactly what you're feeling. Money is the one thing we all use every day, yet it's the one thing we're never taught how to manage. We're taught how to solve for X in algebra, but not how to solve for freedom at age 60. Today, we're going to clear the fog. We aren't going to talk about complex spreadsheets or get-rich-quick schemes. We're going to talk about the reality of what you should have saved by age 30, 40, 50, and 60. But more importantly, we're going to talk about the why behind those numbers and what to do if you aren't there yet. This isn't a lecture. This is a roadmap. And no matter where you are starting today, whether you have $10 or $10,000, this is for you.
Before we get to the milestones, we have to address the why. Why do we care about these numbers? Is it so we can buy a yacht? Probably not. For most of us, money isn't about the stuff. It's about options. Wealth is the ability to say no. It's the ability to say no to a toxic boss. It's the ability to say no to a living situation that makes you miserable. It's the ability to say no to the panic that comes when your car breaks down or your roof leaks. Money is simply stored time. When you save, you are buying back a piece of your future self. You're telling your future self, I've got you. I'm making a sacrifice today so you don't have to struggle tomorrow. So as we go through these ages, don't look at these numbers as a grade on a report card. Look at them as milestones on the path to owning your own time. Before we break down the first decade, if you're ready to take control of your financial future, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us keep creating these guides for regular people who just want to get ahead. And tell me in the comments, what's the one financial goal that feels the most out of reach for you right now? I read every single one. Age 30. The decade of habits. Let's look at 30. By the time you hit 30, the general rule of thumb that economists suggest is to have 1 times your annual salary saved. If you just felt your heart rate spike because you're 29 and have $200 in your savings, stay with me. The 30s are the decade of chaos. For most of us, our 20s were spent figuring out who we are. We might have hopped between jobs, dealt with student loans, moved to new cities, or spent a little too much on life experiences because we felt invincible. By 30, the goal of having 1 times your salary isn't about having a massive pile of cash in a checking account. It's a reflection of your habits. At 30, you have the greatest financial asset in the world, time. Compounding is the 8th wonder of the world, but it requires a seed. If you save $100 a month starting at 20, it becomes a vastly different number than if you start at 40.
At 30, the real goal is to have built a safety wall. This means having a fully funded emergency fund, enough to cover 3 to 6 months of your life if the world stopped turning tomorrow, and the habit of paying yourself first. This is the moment you stop saving what's left at the end of the month and start treating your savings like a bill that must be paid before anything else. If you aren't at 1 times your salary yet, don't panic. The world has changed. Housing is expensive. Wages haven't kept up. Many people hit 30 with a negative net worth because of debt. If that's you, your savings goal for 30 is different. Your goal is momentum. It's about the trajectory, not the total. Are you earning more than you were 3 years ago? Have you stopped the bleeding of high-interest credit card debt? If you can hit 30 with a solid emergency fund and the realization that you need to be an investor rather than just a spender, you are winning the game. Now let's move into the 40-year-old milestone. By age 40, the benchmark is to have 3 times your annual salary saved. This is where the mid-game of life gets very real. By 40, many people find themselves in the sandwich generation. You might have young children who need everything from braces to sports gear, and at the same time, you might have aging parents who are starting to need your physical or financial help. This is the decade where lifestyle creep is the silent killer of wealth. You're likely making more money now than you were at 25, and you might feel like you deserve the nicer car, the bigger house, or the expensive vacations. But 40 is the decade where the math starts to get aggressive. Why 3 times? Because by 40, the money you saved in your 20s and 30s should be doing its own work. If you have 3 times your salary, a large portion of that isn't money you put in, it's growth. It's the market doing the heavy lifting for you. At 40, the invincibility of youth starts to fade. You start to see the finish line of your career, even if it's still 25 years away. This is the decade where you must be a protector. You protect your gap, that difference between what you earn and what you spend. You protect your health, which is your greatest economic engine. And you protect your future by refusing to let your lifestyle grow as fast as your paycheck. If you find yourself at 40 with nothing saved, this is the time for radical honesty. You cannot play the "I'll start next year" game anymore. You have to look at your expenses with a surgical eye and decide what's more important, looking successful today or actually being free tomorrow. By age 50, the goal is to have 6 times your annual salary saved. This is often the decade of your highest earnings. You are likely at the peak of your career, your kids might be moving out, and you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But 50 is also a decade of massive psychological pressure. This is when the retirement reality really sets in. You realize that in 10 or 15 years, the paychecks might actually stop. At 50, your focus shifts from growth to refinement. If you are behind, the government often allows for catch-up contributions and retirement accounts. This is basically the universe giving you a second chance. The goal of having 6 times your salary is to ensure that your nest egg is large enough to survive a market downturn. It's about building a fortress. The biggest mistake people make at 50 is taking their foot off the gas because they think they've done well enough. Or conversely, they panic and start taking huge risks with their money to make up for lost time. My humble advice? Don't gamble. Stay the course. At 50, a steady 7% return is 100 times better than a 50% maybe that could go to 0. You don't have enough time to recover from a total loss anymore. Your saving at 50 is often about simplification. Many people find that by downsizing their house or their lifestyle at 50, they can suddenly supercharge their savings and hit that 6 times goal much faster than they ever thought possible. Finally, we hit age 60. The benchmark here is 8 to 10 times your annual salary. At 60, the conversation changes entirely. We stop talking about saving and start talking about sustainability. If you have 8 to 10 times your salary, you have reached what many call critical mass. This is the point where you can likely live off the growth and interest of your money without ever touching the original pile. By 60, you realize that the best things in life aren't things. They're people. They're the ability to wake up and not have a calendar full of obligations. If you hit 60 and you're at that 10 times mark, congratulations, you have won. You have successfully traded your labor for a permanent state of freedom. But let's talk to the person who is 60 and doesn't have 10 times their salary. Maybe you have 1 times. Maybe you have 0. I want to be very direct with you. It is not over. Shame is the absolute enemy of progress. If you spend your time beating yourself up for what you didn't do with 30, you're just wasting the energy you need to take action today. At 60, if you are behind, your strategy is value and time. This might mean working an extra 3 to 5 years by choice, which can radically change your retirement math by giving your investments more time to grow. It might mean waiting until 70 to claim Social Security to significantly increase your monthly check. Or it might mean lifestyle engineering, selling a large home and moving to a smaller, more affordable area to instantly create a retirement fund where there wasn't one before. Now, everything I just told you is based on a traditional model. It's based on the idea that you have a salary and you save a percentage of it. But I want to offer you a game changer. This is the secret of the regular people who are becoming millionaires young. They realized that they didn't have to wait for the salary math to work. They focused on scalability. If you feel like you can't save enough from your paycheck to hit these goals, you have to look for a way to increase the gap. You can't just save your way to wealth if your income is too low to cover the basics. You have to find a way to create an asset. An asset is something that works when you aren't working. A small side business, a piece of real estate, or a digital product. When you have an asset, you can hit these times your salary goals much faster because you aren't just adding money to a pile, you're building a machine that creates money. If you feel behind, don't just try to save more of the same small pie, look for a way to make the pie bigger. As we look at these numbers, 1 time, 3 times, 6 times, 10 times, it's easy to get caught up in the comparison game. But I want to give you a humble reminder. The numbers are for you. You are not for the numbers. Financial success is not about hitting a specific benchmark to impress people you don't even like. It's about reaching a point where you have enough. Enough is a very personal number. For some, enough is a small cottage and a library card. For others, enough is the ability to travel the world. The danger is that if you don't define what enough looks like for you, you will spend your whole life running a race that has no finish line. You will hit 40 and worry you aren't at 50. You will hit 60 and worry you don't have enough for 80. True wealth is the ability to be content. It's the ability to look at your life and say, I have what I need to be safe, to be healthy, and to be helpful to others. If you're watching this and feeling overwhelmed, maybe you're 45, you have debt, and you have nothing in the bank, here is your blueprint for today. Step 1, forgive yourself. You cannot change the past. The money you spent is gone. Take a deep breath and let the guilt go. You are starting now, and now is the only time that matters. Step 2, the small win strategy. Don't look at the 10 times salary goal. It's too big. Look at the next $1,000. When you get that first $1,000 in an emergency fund, something happens to your brain. You stop feeling like a victim and start feeling like an owner. Step 3, audit your life with humility. We all have leaks in our financial boat. Track every penny for 30 days. You'll be amazed at how much money is slipping through your fingers, money that could be buying your future freedom. Step 4, automate everything. Don't rely on willpower. Set up an automatic transfer from your paycheck. If the money never hits your checking account, you won't miss it. You will adapt. We talk a lot about numbers, but we don't talk enough about sleep. The real measurement of your savings isn't the balance in your app, it's the quality of your sleep. When you have that emergency fund, when you know you're on track, the world feels different. The news doesn't scare you as much. Layoff rumors don't make your heart race. You find that you are kinder, more patient, and more focused. Why? Because the background noise of financial survival has been turned down. When you save, you are building peace, and peace is the most valuable asset in the world. As we wrap this up, remember, these ages are just milestones on a map, but you are the driver. You might take a detour or have to fix a flat tire. That's okay. The only real failure in finance is stopping. As long as you are moving forward, as long as you are trying to be 1% better this month than you were last, you are winning. Regular people become millionaires because they are persistent. You have the power to change your family's tree. It starts with one choice, one habit, and $1 at a time. If this gave you a bit of hope, hit that like button and subscribe. Tell me in the comments, what is the first thing you're going to do after this video to get closer to your next milestone? I'll be there to cheer you on. Don't wait for the right time. The right time is a myth. The time is now. Go build the life you deserve. You've got this. Every single effort you make today is a gift to the person you will become tomorrow. Keep going, stay humble, and remember that financial freedom isn't a destination, it's a way of living with intention. You are worth the effort, and your future is waiting for you to claim it. Take that first step today and don't look back. The road might be long, but the destination is peace, and that is worth everything. I'll see you in the next one.